everybody, for another very early morning of Pinnacle Winter 3. My name is Freddie Rana, and I'm joined by the very beautiful Ted. How are you doing today, man?
Oh, you shouldn't have. You should have. Now you're gonna make me blush, but thank you. I'm feeling really well. I have my tea beside me, you know, a morning game. You might prefer coffee or tea, but you surely have a warm drink next to you, and we're ready for some CS. What a better way to kick things off in a new day.
Yeah, and also, what better to kick off? I'm getting to watch my hometown team Into the Breach. They're reigning from United Kingdom, and then they're favorites in this game, especially how they are also coming up against a German side that is out of form and also playing with two stand-ins. This is not what you'd want to be seeing, Ted. Sorry about that.
Hey, I know they both start with T, but come on. Come on.
It's a very early morning.
My beard is better. Come on.
Oh, true. I do agree with that. But the stand-ins, like, should we just take a look at these real quick?
Yeah, Into the Breach taking on aTTaX. I think it's safe to say that this is the game of the underdogs. This is the clash of the underdogs. But both these two, I think they walk into this matchup in a pretty different state compared to each other. I think we look at Into the Breach. They had a bit of a rough start in the first in their first game in the Pinnacle Winter Series. Obviously, they lost that 1-0 to Eternal Fire, but in yesterday's game, even though they lost 1-2 to eSuba, I liked what I saw. I think their CT sides are looking better and better. I think individually, they're starting to wake up. People like Cypher starting to deliver. Even people like Dobo and Tadpole that you wouldn't expect them on top of the board. They started putting up numbers as well. Isk obviously doing really well with the AWP. I think that Into the Breach, from considering yesterday's performance, are walking into this one as the slight favorites against, well, let's say a wounded aTTaX.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And I'm very glad you brought up Cypher there, because he's someone who, especially in my eyes, in the UK scene, he's always been like a really individually, just mechanically talented player. And I feel like with coming into this year, he's been able to transition his form that he had in the UK scene and maybe in the lower tiers of the EU scene to boasting. I'm looking at Regional Winter Series 3, the regional stage. He had the third best ratings across 12 maps. He had a 1.25 rating. Super, super impressive. And he's looking at doing similarly very well right now. And also, Dobo, not normally someone, as you said, to be putting up those numbers. He doesn't play those positions that allows him to do so.
Yeah.
But in this tournament, he's actually putting up a 1.12 rating, which is, for him, just phenomenal, to be honest. And to have a player on this UK side that is stepping up apart from maybe Cypher and Isk makes it so dangerous for the German side. So for me, always looking at the team, if Dobo and Tadpole can step up, then I think it's game over.
Well, we're gonna take a look at it. Of course, we're gonna see the aTTaX lineup before it all, but aTTaX, they're gonna be just a little bit wounded. We spoke about it. They're gonna be playing with two stand-ins, and this is just not ideal, especially in an elimination game. Patrick and Arrow coming in instead of Freezy and Zen. Of course, we're gonna take a quick look at that in just a couple of seconds. Okay, we're gonna go straight to the veto apparently, because we're back with the schedule, bro. We just started. We are already back in time, guys. So we need to head into the veto. Of course, Vertigo Engine being removed. Now this is a bit of an interesting one there. Normally you wouldn't expect aTTaX to go for this ban, but we're gonna speak about this in just a little bit. Nuke and Overpass being the first two picks, and Inferno left as the decider. What more of a classic than an Inferno decider? But I want to hear your opinion on this one, because we have a couple really awkward ones in there.
Yeah, I mean, we had a look at this at the very beginning, just before the game started, and we just went, what? It's a very strange veto, because Ancient is one of these two teams' better maps, and normally you see them picking it first. However, aTTaX have banned that straight away, so maybe they were trying to big brain out this UK side and just try for a little bit of a curveball. And then looking over the picks now, we see Nuke being picked up by Into the Breach, and this is such a safe pick for them. I think it's their most played map so far on HLTV in these last 3 months. And it's also like every time I watch them on it, they just seem so good. Adam on that IGL role, I feel like he's got a very dynamic T side, and I really like seeing that, because similarly on Ancient, you know, like the T sides, they normally are weaker, and then seeing Into the Breach come out with a very dynamic and positive T side, I feel like is the reason why they're so good on this. And then Overpass picking it, for alternate attacks, this is definitely one where it could be that they could pick it up. And I actually saw them against Enterprise. There was a map to get them into this stage in the regionals. They beat Enterprise in a very dominant fashion. So I know they can play it, but can they play it with 2 stand-ins? That's the question. And then Dust 2 being banned by Instant Breach here is very interesting, because this is probably the worst map for the German side. I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest. That was very surprising for me. I thought they were going to float both Mirage and Inferno, because these are 2 of their better maps. So very, very confusing overall. However, I feel like this is a map pool which could see us going into a 2-1, going to a 3 map if we had both the full teams. But because of the 2 stand-ins, I feel like it's going to be difficult.
It's always going to be difficult to fill in the gaps, as you mentioned. I believe even on Nuke, where you're going to be starting on the CT side for alternate attacks, it's still going to be a bit tough. You mentioned the dynamic T sides coming in from Adam. We actually had the chance to watch that against Eternal Fire on Nuke, because yesterday, let's say that Into the Breach's Nuke was quite easy. But in the end of the day, I think that Eternal Fire, or they made it look easy, but against Eternal Fire was when you could see what is required to stop that T side, because again, they had some good ideas on the CT side, but it was already that far. It was already that bad after the first half, so it was pretty much unsavable. But still, on the T side, you could see that Into the Breach had the nice ideas. You can see that they were picking up the pace. You could see that they're trying to find the gaps in the defense. The problem back then was just Eternal Fire, as individually good as they are, made it impossible for Into the Breach to win barely any dribbles. But I don't think that's going to be the case today. I think yesterday got them fired up just a little bit more as well against eSuba. And I think that even though they lost the game, it just, I think, made their hunger bigger, just because of how close they were to success and because of how much success they managed to find on some of those CT sides, on pretty much all of them, actually. So I would fancy Into the Breach going into this one as well. Overpass, notoriously, is a good map for alternate attacks, don't misunderstand me, but when they are with their full lineup. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to fill in the gaps with 2 stand-ins. Well, CT side, maybe you're going to be able to do so, but T side, calling with 2 new players in the lineup that have no idea what the protocols are, what the structure is, it could be really tough. And if you're playing Puggy style against a team like Into the Breach, well, you're going to get punished, because you pointed out they have a lot of UK's mechanical prowess on their side.
Yeah, because I think one thing I was just looking at is because the people at home won't know who the stand-ins who are replacing. So Patrick has been playing it instead of Freeze, and Patrick, we saw him play quite a bit, because I think Zen has been apparently we're just hearing from production there has been another change. So I'm going to hold off momentarily, but I think what is for certain are the 2 players that will be that will be replaced. Freeze can't play, and he's actually the IGL of this German side. And I was looking at the name. I was like, that is the IGL, right? I've confirmed it. I was like, okay, that is a huge blow to take, because at least if you have 2 stand-ins, maybe you have the same IGL, and he can at least call around these 2 new players. However, you are replacing, probably it'd be fair to say, the most pivotal member of this team.
Yeah, we spoke about it, and before the game, we were like, okay, at least they still have MOUZ. I mean, the Oper and the IGL are probably the 2 roles that are the hardest to replace, because obviously, yeah, an entry could be tricky, a lurker could be tricky, but most of these are just going into basic knowledge. Now we're going to take a quick look at the lineup, and okay, essentially,
so Zen is apparently playing.
Yeah, Zen is still going to be playing, which props to him, because we got information that he's sick. We hope that he's feeling better. And props to him for playing, respect, even though he's not feeling well. But yeah, Patrick is going to be the only stand-in. I want to ask you a really good question, though. Does that change anything about what we said so far?
I think it does a little bit, a very small bit, because Patrick has played with this roster before. He was replacing Zen in a lot of the maps recently, and he proved, honestly, fair play to him. I was very impressed with how he was playing, and especially. But the problem is, like, in the end, they don't have their IGL and Freeze. I think that's going to be the biggest deficit. And just looking at the rest of this team now, MOUZ, you were talking about the AWPer, at least they still have their AWPer, and he's actually the only person with a positive rating in this tournament so far.
Mm-hmm.
He's boasting a 1.09 rating, which is like just average, to be honest. So, like, that should be what you'd want to see as your main AWP, but everyone else is below a 0.9. And I think the most important person to look at for that poor rating is aTTaX, the Greek player in this German roster. You can see him on the far right. He had the third best rating in the, literally the second best rating in the regionals with a 1.31. And he's always a player for me to look at and be like, okay, he's going to drop huge numbers, but he just hasn't. And I think that is going to be super important coming into this game. Can he, especially with standing, he's going to have to go astronomical.
Yeah, especially when you have, like, obviously Maeve is going to be dueling with Isk on the AWP, but then you have aTTaX. On the other side, you have a really well-performing Cypher. You spoke about him. Cypher is notoriously known in the UK region for being one of the best, if not the best, mechanical players of the new generation to come. So aTTaX has got a really tough task ahead of him. We know that he can crunch in the numbers. We know that he can do the damage, but you have to do it today. Let's not forget, this is eliminations time. So you lose this one, you're pretty much out of the tournament. And I feel like it just started. So you don't want to be going home just yet.
Yeah, I actually feel like it's something that we haven't touched on as much. We've been so focused on the teams that we haven't really realized that both these teams have come from the regional stage. Breach went 3-1, aTTaX went 3-2, and they honestly, they barely got through. They just took down Enterprise at the end. I was casting it. It was a really, really close game. But yeah, as you just said, it's a 0-2 game. Neither of these teams would be wanting to bow out this early because they're both really wanting to prove themselves in this European scene. aTTaX, they're still struggling regionally. We were just talking beforehand how they actually lost to NLG in their German cups. They are like regionally, they're not even placed as the best team. Ranking wise, they're just below the big academy and big team, so they're theoretically one of the better teams, but they're not actually proving it. However, Breach, they've pretty much solidified themselves as the best UK team, especially with Fnatic now especially with Smooya being dropped now. Fnatic aren't really a UK roster, so Breach, they've secured themselves as the regionals best. The question is now, can they secure themselves in the regional scene?
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna risk the entire UK scene.
Oh no.
Ratting it, but let's go Poison.
Oh, that was that one really hurt. I can't lie.
No,
and,
wait, mate.
we kick him,
mate, please. I'm really happy that Poison finally finds a team. I'm sad for Smooya, but I'm happy for Poison.
Okay, okay. You know what? I'll accept that.
I normally am a Smooya fan. Like, I like him, but I'm really happy for Poison as well.
Yeah, he is. He definitely needs to find a place. However, just ignoring the Fnatic controversies for a second, we're going to be going into this pistol round. There's actually been a ramp hit coming in. aTTaX, we were saying how he had to step up, and he's already got the first kill of the game. He does get dropped, however, I think this could be a round going the way of aTTaX, especially with Adam being killed there. Dobbo just left alone. He does get that first kill. 2 in the round for him. Bomb isn't in his grasp. I think it's down ramp. Patrick and Maeve, they're up against him now.
You are in Dobbo. He doesn't even have the bomb. If he had it, we might have been considering it, but he's already kicking with 2 kills in the round. They don't want to give him a lot of space here. They don't want to give him a lot of fights. Just make sure that he can't isolate 1v1s. Make sure you get the information and then let him have whatever he wants, but have a 2 versus 1 in the end of the day. Dobbo gonna pick up the C4, and he is gonna commit to that B-bomb side. Now, there is a player here. It's gonna be Maeve challenging on the other side, and Dobbo trying to be silent. Oh, the timing is really good, but now Maeve is gonna hear it. Dobbo, does he go for a safe plant? Nope, he's gonna get spotted, but sees Maeve as well, and now he knows that he can go for the bomb plant. That's gonna be some relative success. Spots Patrick as well. He knows where both players are. He can actually stick this one. There's not enough time on the clock.
He will get the bomb down. They're both running into him. He's going to find the first contact onto Patrick, but it will be Maeve. Orpa by nature is going to take him down. I really thought Dobbo was actually going to win that because we were talking about how he is having a better tournament than usual, and I was like, this would be a really good way to start this series off with, getting a 1v2 and a 4K and pistol round. Alas, it will be aTTaX pick up the pistol. And just speaking about pistol, now it's gone. Both these teams have like really, really bad pistol stats in the last 3 months. Like, they're both winning about 40% of their pistol rounds. And I was looking at that before the game and I was like, wow, this is actually, from both sides, they're just awful at pistols.
Yeah, I guess I guess actually Double gave himself a chance there. He managed to isolate 1v1s in the end of the day, so if he landed the first shot headshot, there would have been a chance, but now they go for the force buy. At least the bomb plant. Yeah,
sorry, Ted, this is the El Clasico. This play is the El Clasico. Adam being flashed through, he's going to get the first kill and the second. Ted, I have seen that strat being pulled off like hundreds of times at this stage. They do that every single time on the second round, regardless if they win or lose.
It's a pretty default thing, right? They steal it away from tier 1 as well. People do it there. I guess you can... Okay, let's not say even tier 1. I guess you can say the higher echelons of tier 2 even. Teams like SKADE love doing that. You just send one player in the smoke outside of single door. Then you wait a couple seconds, make sure that they think you're going down the vent or you're just making some presence. No, make sure that they forget about the guy that's in the smoke. Then you flash him out. And most of the time it works out well. As you mentioned, it's one of the signature things for Into the Breach. And they make it work perfectly. It's a flawless round. They don't lose a single member.
Okay, I think I'm gonna be able to read this T side now perfectly. Insta breach, they're gonna do outside smokes next, and they're gonna like have a few rounds of outside control, and then go back to playing into inside. Like, they're gonna they've conditioned inner now, and they've conditioned the A bomb site with that hit, and they've also fair enough, really nice round from them. They keep all 5 players alive, 3 A1Ss and 2 AKs. Oh, I think it's just one ace. So like they kept an AK and 3 A1Ss. Really, what more do you want? So really good round for this UK side, and
yeah.
Quite unfortunate for the Germans, because you definitely would be wanting to like that second round conversion is so important.
Yeah,
no,
I think at this point, you can just try and pick up the pace. I like that play. I like the disrespect play here. You know that the utility is not going to be great on the CT side, so you should have an easy time just targeting that A bomb side and clearing it out. As you mentioned, conditioning is a really nice way to put it in. This is what they're doing right now. They tell them, okay, you saw what works. We send one player in the smoke, we flash him out. You have no answer to that. We just send it out A. We don't even go for those shenanigans with the flash plays and so on and so on. We just go full W. You can't stop that either. You need to be worried about it again. So now, after winning 2 rounds there, they can start exploring stuff. They know that alternate attacks are just going to be worried for that possibility. Those are a couple nice picks from Patrick, but not going to do too much. I'm actually not a big fan of that hunt from Into the Breach. Just save your money. Let him hold on to the M4.
They will be up against an eco though, so that's like the silver linings. They can maybe afford to throw like the players they have already, but like hunting here, I feel like is very. This is what I don't agree with. However, Adam, he does get the kills, so it works out in the end, I guess. Still a very nice round from Instant Breach, and as I said before, alternate attacks they will be forced onto the eco now.
Yeah. By the way, you know why I appreciate Adam as an IGL? I like IGLs that like getting manners into their own hands in terms of... He is a really aggressive IGL in the way that he's moving around the map. He is one that knows how to open up space for his teammates. And I like that because obviously you have a lot of IGLs that like lurking, that like going for a bit of more of a supportive refragging role. No, he is the IGL that's really bird from Sky-esque. I think that's the best way to put it. He just runs at them like a crazy biscuit, like an Apex guy. Just making sure that he is the one to get, if someone would get insta headshot 5 rounds in a row and then they would end up winning the round, it would be him, because he knows that he's got the mentality for it. He knows that if they win the round, he's going to be happy with dying for his teammates, and he doesn't hold any grudges about it. And that's the reason I like it. I think he's approaching this one as a true leader should.
Honestly, yeah, I completely agree with you. And the thing is, like, he actually does quite well as well. Like, he does get the opening picks multiple times. And like we saw there on the second round, the strat is kind of centered around him just running out first. Same with that round we've just seen on the A-bomb site. He just went out first. He got 3 kills. And like, if he's playing an entry like that, more of an entry role sometimes to just send himself out, and it works. So like, it's looking very good. You know, he's going 6-1 already. Very successful. And it will be alternate attacks, not finding anything right now, because that's a very cheeky boost, or not even boost, like stack they've done outside gens. I've actually seen it succeed in quite a lot of scenarios. However, they will not meet anyone right now. And like, do they even go for anything here, or do they all just stick as a 5 and just sit somewhere?
I actually remember, I think 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago. Oh, that's gonna be a cleanup. Just don't get surprised by it. But yeah, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, I saw a player just running into a stack like that. Oh no, it was 2 players running into the stack, but with Mac 10s. And they were running in from outside. And you can imagine how that one ended.
probably not very good for them.
Yeah, they still, well, the CT still lost the round, but those 2 kills were hilarious. You could just see the pain in the eyes of the T's in that scenario. But hey, speaking about pain, well, the AWP can bring some pain, and an AWP is being brought up by MOUZ in this round. First buy round coming in for alternative attacks into the breach. Now back to the A side aggression, at least for the early parts of it, and I'm not gonna get surprised if we see another pop out play from Adam here. Cypher is gonna get shut down in the meantime.
Yeah, that was a really nice opening kill from Patrick. However, he does lose his life eventually. And that AWP, as you said, really important because he's already going to find info here and some contact. Highest rated player on alternative attacks. But yeah, Adam, he's got down here. And very close to actually does get the kill onto aTTaX. Very huge sculpt to take because we don't want to let him have any momentum into this game. Both Tadpole and ISK will be bounding down towards the B bomb site to join their IGL. They will get the bomb down, but how they will be tested momentarily as the rotations are thick and thin. And I think it's going to be all 3 players coming from Secret now. MOUZ leading the charge with this glass cannon AWP, and this actually could get quite dangerous, Ted.
Yeah, but it's really tough. Even though the low HP on Into the Breach is there, they don't have a single defuse kit. The AWP without the armor as well, they will have to be really, really quick with this one. And that means that they need to overlook a couple angles. The flash is going to be good, but there's a double peek on the other side. Is gets one. Ooh. Actually, Zen and Sky get a double, but now Tadpole's position is really tough to compromise, and they need to get their hands on the defuse. He's going to find the first kill, and this should be the round. MOUZ, even if he lands the shot which he wanted, he didn't really have the time for it. Tadpole with a really good 1 versus 2 clutch, and Into the Breach cement their forward.
It's actually quite a big clutch from Tadpole mentally as well, because he's been a player that I think it'd be fair to say that struggles in this lineup. And so for just you know, that was a pretty unlosable 1v2, but it's good that he's picked it up still. Like, that's good for him to sit there and be like, okay, I just want to really like pivotal 1v2, because for all he knew, they could have a kit on their side. They didn't, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. So that's a very big round to win. So also alternately breaks the money of alternative attacks, and ISK has been able to grab that AWP from the fallen body of MOUZ. Super nice from the UK side. And we were talking about how this stand-in could affect their gameplay, and honestly, it looks like it is. Into breach, they could be running away from it. An early lead on the T side of Nuke is not something you tend to see that much.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just everything going to plan right now for Adam. Everything is working out. You can see that even the calls are really, let's say, protocol. You know that it's kind of a hard buy on the other side, a couple pistols, armors, more of an eco. You just send it outside without the smokes. You know that you have the advantage of the AKs and the AWP. But as you pointed out, Tadpole's clutch, that was actually a really good point of view. Because I feel like he is... Let me put that one right. I think he's like the son of this team.
Yeah,
he's the guy with the least experience, obviously coming in from UMX. He had a couple of really good showings there, but obviously you have, even if you look at people like Double, like Cypher, Double is a part of GamerLegion, and he's played with Adam for a really long time now, so he's got that experience, even though he's fairly young. ISK, we don't even speak about it. He's a really good opener, and experience is not a question there. Cypher, as you pointed out, one of the biggest prospects of the UK scene. So when you're surrounded with so much talent and with so much experience, it's kind of really hard to adapt. But Tadpole has been doing just all right.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's the El Clasico that's being pulled out again and all just torn apart. It's actually like... That was the thing, is like that A defense just fell. There was no rebuttal whatsoever. Tadpole got a very nice opening pick, and then I think it was Sky on top hut, just like nothing could go his way. aTTaX gets a quick flank, but only good for one. ISK quickly trades him out. The AWP is going hunting, and very nice shot onto Zen. We see that player return because he has been quite ill recently. Nice to see him come back, but it's for his point of view. Oh wait, hold on a second, Patrick getting a lot of kills. Bomb is half tick. It's planted on the A bomb side. There's actually no one there right now because Adam is in towards Vent. He's got a nade and flash. No way. He's read Adam like an absolute book. He's got a nade. Is he going to choose to throw that nade in towards Vent? Flash is going out, and that nade's going to kill Adam. That's going to go straight into him. He's sticking the bomb. Oh my god, no way. Patrick just won this round. That was a 1v4. He has just won. How have we just seen this? Ted, are you kidding me right now?
This is actually hilarious. Into the breach. They're going to be kicking themselves after a round like that. What a play from Patrick. That just transitioned from a save to a 1 round in a matter of seconds. They just overpaced it. They gave him 1v1s. They underestimated him. And you know, Adam is the guy not to blame in that scenario. He's the only player not to blame. Nothing you can do in that situation. everyone was just going on the hunt, knives out, confidence up, and into the breach. They just give him a free round. You spoke about the flawless start on the D side. That one round would have been the breaking point. We would have been speaking about alternate attacks not being able to stop that A-bomb side aggression. Let's just pretend that we didn't see that, but we would be speaking about them being down 1-6 and with an eco to come, so potentially 1-7. Now, this play from Patrick, even though it might not change anything at all because the flow of the game is not, it doesn't give us the vibe of alternate attacks going for a comeback here, but it's still really devastating for Into the Breach.
Yeah, I mean, I think, as you said, it might not actually accumulate to too much, seeing how Adam's got those first 2 kills. There's only one player on this B-bomb site. aTTaX is going to be pushing out, and he's going to be meeting head-on with Tadpole, but it's going to be Tadder's big Tadpole find that first kill onto the B-bomb site, and it will be the 5v2 advantage for Into the Breach. Patrick and Maeve left alive. Patrick does have some support here with the 1v5. It might be possible, but I think they are just going to elect for the save. However, this is how it started last time, Ted. So
yeah, just don't hunt him, please.
They are hunting him. Cypher's going to lose his life. Wait, hold on a second. He's going to...
Wait, Ted, he won't.
Ted, Ted, there's no one on the bomb site.
He's got a kid as well. He's got a kid.
There's no one even remotely close.
He's got a kid.
He's got 2 flashes.
He's done it as well. He's done it again.
He's going to be defusing. He's got 2 flashes. Wait, they're going to be hunting. They're going to be coming in from single now. The bomb is being defused. Oh, just in time. They do stop it. Oh my god, for a second there, I thought he was going to go for 2 in a row. That would be absolutely unbelievable.
If he has a smoke, he's
that would have been it. To be honest, even if he just dropped the flashbang.
Oh. Whew. Okay. I think one thing is safe to say, and this is when you're into the breach, even if it's a 5 versus 1, if you press tab and you see that Patrick is alive, you just stay with the bomb. Yeah, you don't go for the hunt.
That's the standard as well, may I add.
Well, these are really individual situations, so it kind of goes up to the player's capabilities, and he's been doing expertly in those scenarios just to give his team a bit of a chance. But we're back to where we were before that previous round. Alternate attacks, another half buy. Well, it's a half buy with an AWP and a Nova, but Adam doesn't seem to care. He's 15-4, by the way. I think that's the best game. I think that's the best Adam game I've ever seen.
I've never seen. I mean, like, Adam's always a player I will look at to step up on you, because he is very, very impressive. Hold on, the Nova's got 2 kills, so we're into 3-3. Maeve's actually picked up an AWP as well. Patrick, oh, that was a big kill if he was able to clean that. However, the bomb is, I was going to say, for a second I thought the bomb might be on Adam's back, but it's not. aTTaX is going to find the kill here. Oh, just about. That got very tentative for a second. Back into a 2v2. Dobbo's going to go up this vent, and he's going to catch the player off. Oh, hold on a second. That was an absolute phenomenal shock. The Greek player on alternate attacks has had his head cleanly ripped off, and it is just the 1v2 now going in for Maeve.
AWP in hand, no defuse kit as well, and Nisk is going to be holding for it. An easy shot to hit for the Ukrainian UK sniper, and into the breach with 7 rounds on the D side. I think it's safe to say that that they are the favorites going into this one from that point on. This is why we were speculating about them having a really flawless nuke. Of course, if you want to take advantage of those, even though I think the odds are going to be really stacked in favor of Into the Breach at this point, make sure you click the banner below the stream, head over to Pinnacle, and use our code WINTER22 to take advantage of the best odds in the game. Yeah, you at least need to be 18 though. That's the no fun part.
That was a really good round from Into the Breach. And big shout out to our partners as well, because this event wouldn't be going on without our partners. They've been able to host this for us and give us some amazing Counter-Strike. Cypher getting an opening pick yet again in this round. I think he's got 3 kills, and I'm pretty sure all 3 of those kills have been the opening kill in a specific round. So hopefully he can just continue his momentum a little bit. To be honest, he doesn't necessarily need to right now, as Adam, you brought up. Like 15-4 now, I think, seems to get taken down towards the end there. But super dominant from him. And with a minute left on the clock, Into the Breach, they have so much control outside, and they are sending the bomb down towards Secret, where momentarily there is actually no one there really whatsoever.
Yeah, I like the fact that they slow things down, though. I think after you get the opening kill, you can just play the map control. You can just wait for some aggression to come through from alternate attacks, because it's either going to be aggression or an over-rotation in the wrong stack. So, in that scenario, Into the Breach, just group up, make sure that you realize what kind of an open space they've given you, and they've given you a lot to work with. And now they're going to commit to the contact play towards A, where, truth be told, there is 2 players holding, and it's a bit of a powerful crossfire as well.
Yeah, this crossfire can get very dangerous. The question is, do they clear Sky? They tried to, but it does not accumulate anything in Sky. He's doubled up. Typo and Cypher being dropped. However, look at this. Dobbo's on a flank. He's got one player in front of him, which he dropped. The player on the back bomb, and oh, beautiful from him. Absolutely clinical. Adam joining in with the fun. Azek, though, with 10 seconds on the board, he could stop the bomb. The bomb's not even down yet. It was placed into a second vent. Adam's going to try plant it. Azek's going to peek out. He's going to drop the bomb, and the time is ticking down. Alternate attacks, they pick up a third based on a misplay, and that is absolutely huge from the Greek player. He's the star player of this German side, and he's proved us why.
Man, alternate attacks are just winning the most sloppy, unorthodox rounds in the world right now. All of them just having to go in favor of Into the Breach, right? And we spoke about their approach of just slowing the pace down, and how this is normally the right thing to do. Well, in that scenario, that double kill from the back of the vent from Sky, it wasted pretty much enough time for Into the Breach, and at the end of the day, they couldn't really clear out all the positions. Not sure about Double looking towards his back and assuming that the bomb is going to go down safely. I think his job here is to just cover HUD. Even if he goes down from heaven, you still have the guy in main that can play for the after plant. You just need to make sure that the C4 goes down. But Into the Breach have been really good at recovering from scenarios like that. And in the end of the day, alternate attacks just win this round with 1 player surviving. Oh no, with actually no player surviving. So the money is not going to be looking great. If they lose this one, it's just going to be no good, right?
Yeah, the money's actually like awful. They've used their last bit of utility. They have 0 kits. They have an SMG, FAMAS, and 2 A1Ss. They're just going to have to be winning their aim duels in a game where they already just aren't. If I saw Into the Breach on a buy like this, I may be like, okay, it's possible. However, this German side, they could be finding a lot of difficulty, especially Maeve here. He's in towards Dials, that back bomb site on the rafters. And they're not going to actually go out onto him just yet, because look at this. They don't need to. Typod does overextend a little bit and loses life, but the flank from both Adam and the other player towards ramp, I can't see who that is quite yet. Dobbo is going to put Maeve in a very precarious situation. However, he gets 2, puts it into a 2v2. It's just Isk and Dobbo now left alone. The bomb should be being planted. However, there's a very quick rotation from Zen, only USP in hand. He's going to try to deny this bomb. Dies it temporarily because he did open a door, but won't find any success yet. Time, though. Look at this, Ted. It's really ticking down.
Oh, I love that play. Isk is just going to get the kill, and now they can plant default. They know the second player is coming in from ramp. Sky left in a 1 versus 2. Timing might be favorable, actually. Now he's been spotted, and Isk is going to land that shot as well. 12-3 for the Oper. Truth be told, we've been focusing a lot on Adam. We've been focusing a lot on the individual plays from alternate attacks, but Isk, he is doing what an AWP should be doing for me, especially on the D side. He's not getting 3-4 kills every single round. He's not hard carrying right now, but he's still 12-3. He's consistently getting kills every single round, getting 1 or 2 kills, no more, no less. But this is what you need in scenarios like that, because he makes it look easy. This is actually a really tricky situation and a really tricky round to win for Into the Breach. It just makes it look flawless.
Yeah, it's very nice, and he's at a slower tournament, so it's nice to see him step up in his normal fashion. However, Cypher, fully blind, is going to let them run past him. Isk, a player you highlighted, he can do it with a pistol, and it's just going to be a very clean wash up. And I guess while we do have a second here, we could just shout out some of our partners over at Extra Free. They sell some of the most phenomenal peripherals. They have a big, high-quality variety of products, from mice to keyboards and headsets. And if I'm not mistaken, Into the Breach are actually sponsored by Extra Fee as well. And I saw on Twitter yesterday Tadpole with some very nice gear. And I can't lie, they looked pretty cool. And those customizable mouse shells as well, they are snazzy.
Yeah, and by the way, you said Extra Free. You know why that is? Because we have a code. And if you use the code, it's going to be... Yeah, it's not going to be free, but it's going to be close to it. I mean, 10% off. You can use our code WINTER10 on extrafy.com. And yeah, it's going to be a lot cheaper. And for the quality, I mean, for the quality you're getting is going to be insane. But Into the Breach, back to the basics. Adam, there's the flash. Yeah. Oh.
Ooh. They actually shut it down. They get the first 2 kills and all straight back into it. Maeve, though, still raining from heaven. He finds 2 kills. He finds 1, actually. I thought he found 2 there. Patrick, the hero, yet again coming in clutch. Isk is going to die on the bomb site, and now leaving Dobbo left alone in towards Squeak. tall order, but it's still definitely possible. They seem to have some idea of where he is with that Molotov being placed at his feet. Patrick is going to pick up yet another one, so they're going to replenish that as soon as it fades. He's going to go for it. A tick, though, is going to alert them with his notification, location even, but he does actually find that first pick. He doesn't know MOUZ has dropped onto this bomb site, so he's still really cautious of him coming from either Mini or Heaven. 55 seconds, though. There's a lot of time to play. aTTaX, they have the bomb in their grasp, and Ted, this could go either way, I feel like.
I like this play from Dobo. I like him just switching the pace and just waiting it out. That's going to make MOUZ just feel a little bit claustrophobic. He's going to start feeling anxious about a potential Heaven wrap in just a couple seconds as well. He's going to start feeling anxious about HUD, about door. There's a lot of positions to consider at this point with the AWP, but in the end of the day, MOUZ is going to get the right idea of it, lands the shot, and Dobo is going to go down. A nice attempt of a clutch, but in the end of the day, aTTaX, they played a really good round. This is actually the first time that they managed to get the better out of this A bomb site pop, which is really good. This is one of the, as you pointed out, the El Clasico for Into the Breach just denied. And this is what you wanted, right? You want to make Into the Breach feel like they're not able to make a round out of every single other call that they have. And it's a good thing. Now, the only bad thing is that aTTaX are yet to win consecutive rounds. So if you let Into the Breach win this 10th round, only 4, potentially 5 on the CT side of Nuke is just not enough.
Yeah, it's really not that great. Cypher, but we've seen this play being attempted by him before, but it didn't actually get any success. And they're actually going to change it up a little bit because the bomb is going down towards this B bomb site. Isk as well with a very nice pick onto A is going to halt the rotations momentarily. Dobbo is going to try to do the exact same. He's actually going to definitely get a kill onto MOUZ here. Very nicely done from him. And it's just going to be Sky and Azek left alone, both coming in from ramp. Tadpole just spotting them out. First goes down. Adam is going to lose his life just yet, but there's a lot of info and literally 1 HP on Sky. He's going to be saving that AWP. He's got very beautiful hair, I can't lie, but I don't feel like the good hair is going to accumulate too much. And all Ted, this is, as you said, aTTaX, they haven't strung more than 1 round in a row. 10-4. If they do hit 11-4, you do know, I don't know if you are familiar of Zonic's law.
Yeah, I am.
Do you believe in it? That's the question.
In that scenario, no. Normally, yeah. 11-4 is, I like to compare it to football, is the most dangerous lead. It's like 2-0 in football, you know? You get the sense of, yeah, okay, I have this one in the back. It should be fairly dominant. I'm 2 goals ahead, but then they score 1, which is the pistol in the conversions. They score a 2nd, which is the first buy round, and you're pretty much screwed. Just leveled up. And you were feeling that confident, but yeah, I feel like if it was the other way around, if it was aTTaX, T side into the breach, CT side, and then 10-5, 11-4, we would be looking at it, we would be like, okay, it's not impossible.
Yeah, the fast aid does come out. There's Patrick with 3. He came through that smoke and he's accumulated himself some very tasty frags. And it might scrap Sonic's logs. It's going to be a 10-5 half unless Isk, the Ukrainian AWPer, has something to say about this now.
That was a really good reaction coming in from aTTaX. I'm a fan of it. It felt like most of the time when Into the Breach were going for those plays, aTTaX were just playing it in a really orthodox way, right? If someone is stuck behind the smoke, they just spray it through, they just spam it through. No one was going for those crazy plays that Patrick went for just now. Maybe this is the benefit of just being a stand-in. You can play outside of the structure from time to time, outside of the plan, because we know that normally German teams are known for anything but crazy plays, right? Even on tier 1, even if you look at a team like Big, they're really well protocol, really well drilled. Nothing goes on a random decision-making system. So in that scenario, Patrick going through the smoke, just switching things up, making something different, trying to go for a play. I'm a fan of it. Works out. The question is, are 5 rounds going to be enough? Because I don't think 5 rounds is enough CT side nuke especially. We've praised Into the Breach for their CT sides on that map. Now they're going to have the chance to prove us right or wrong, of course. But when you have people like Adam, like Isker performing so well, obviously Cypher is the one that we haven't seen that much from. Dobo and Tadpole had their really good moments, but still, when you have so many people performing, and I think it's safe to say it's a team effort so far, or it has been a team effort for Into the Breach, and your AWP is feeling well as well, which we know that if on Nuke the communication is good and the AWPer is on point with his rotations, the Ds are going to be having a really tough time. Well, I think this is exactly what aTTaX are in for. A tough time.
Yeah, I honestly completely agree with everything you've said. I think Patrick just had an agent skin on, so we will get underway in this pistol round. And while we have just a little bit of time as well, I can shout out another one of our amazing partners over at World of Esports. They have a fantasy competition platform which allows you to create your own team and battle up against each other with your knowledge of the game. And I think this is awesome to have something that's in esports. It's completely free to play. Oh, oh, come on.
I'm
sure
terrible
not
at
that bad.
fantasy. No, I'm terrible at fantasy leagues. Like, I'm really good at predicting who's gonna win a matchup, like a team, but I'm really terrible at fantasy stuff. Like, who's gonna be the best CT player? Who's gonna get the most flashes? Yeah, tier 1, I can do it. No, I'm actually
Tier 2 is very hard.
I'm really bad. Yeah, tier 2. The thing is, we spent like 15 minutes praising Cypher about how good he is, and then Adam starts the game 16-5.
Yeah, like you could never ever, I think, predict that. Like of all players as well, Adam.
Exactly.
He is. Yeah, it's like. To be fair, it's not as outrageous. I feel like if someone like Dobbo or Tadpole went 16-5, I'd be sitting there being like, hold on a second, what? As